This is the story of a man who almost lost everything. Not because he lacked talent, not because he was lazy, but because he refused to change the way he saw the world. His name was Daniel. Daniel lived in a small town. For years, he worked at a local printing shop. He was skilled, respected, and confident. People came to him for banners, flyers, and posters. He believed his job was stable. He believed his skills were enough. And most importantly, he believed things would stay the same. At home, Daniel often said, "The world may change, but the basics never do." At the time, it sounded wise, but slowly, everything around him began to shift. New machines came. Digital tools replaced old methods. Online design platforms became popular. Customers stopped walking into shops. Instead, they clicked a few buttons on their phones. Daniel saw all of this, but he ignored it. "That's just a trend," he told himself. "People will come back." Weeks passed, then months. Fewer customers came. The shop owner started to worry, but Daniel stayed calm. He continued doing things the old way, using the same tools, the same mindset. One day, a young customer walked in and asked, "Can you design something modern? Something like what I saw online?" Daniel frowned. "This is how we've always done it," he replied. The customer smiled politely and left. That moment didn't feel important, but it was the beginning of everything. The shop's income dropped. Orders became rare. Finally, the owner had no choice. He closed the shop, just like that. Daniel lost his job. At first, he was angry. "It's not my fault," he said. "The world is wrong." But as days turned into weeks, reality became harder to ignore. Daniel searched for new work. Every place he applied asked for skills he didn't have: digital design, online marketing, new software. He felt lost. For the first time in his life, he realized something painful. The world had moved forward, and he had stayed behind. Sometimes, the hardest truth is this: the problem is not the world. The problem is how we see it. Daniel sat alone one night, staring at his old tools. They once made him proud. Now, they felt useless. He whispered to himself, "Maybe I was wrong." That moment was his turning point. Instead of blaming the world, Daniel made a choice. He decided to change. The next day, he walked into a library. He borrowed books about digital design. He watched free tutorials online. At first, everything felt confusing. The screens, the software, the new language, it overwhelmed him. Many times, he wanted to quit. "Maybe I'm too old for this," he thought. But deep inside, he knew something. If you don't change your thinking, your life will not change. So he kept going, day by day, step by step. He made mistakes. He failed. He learned. Slowly, something began to shift, not just his skills, but his mindset. He stopped saying, "This is how it's always been." Instead, he started asking, "What can I learn next?" That one question changed everything. Months later, Daniel created his first digital design. It wasn't perfect, but it was new. It was different. It was progress. He shared his work online. At first, no one noticed, but he didn't stop, because now he understood something powerful. Success is built in small steps. One day, a small business owner contacted him. "I saw your design," she said. "Can you make something for my shop?" Daniel smiled. It wasn't a big job, but it was a new beginning. From there, more opportunities came. Slowly, Daniel rebuilt his career this time, not with old tools, but with a new mindset. Years later, Daniel became known not just for his skills, but for his ability to adapt. People asked him, "What changed your life?" He would always say the same thing: "I stopped looking at a new world with old eyes." Because the truth is simple. The world will always change. Technology will change. People will change. Opportunities will change. But if your thinking stays the same, you will stay stuck. Sometimes, we don't fail because we are weak. We fail because we refuse to see differently. And here is the lesson. The moment you change your perspective, your path begins to change. Sometimes the greatest strength is not holding on, but letting go of old thinking. The moment you stop resisting change, you start growing with it. Daniel's story is not just about work, it's about life. How many times do we hold on to old beliefs, even when they no longer serve us? How many opportunities do we miss because we refuse to see things differently? The world is not waiting for us. It keeps moving, and the choice is always ours. Stay the same, or grow. So today, ask yourself one simple question. Am I seeing today's world with yesterday's mindset? Because if the answer is yes, then maybe it's time to change. And remember this: you don't need to be the smartest person. You don't need to be the fastest. You only need to be willing to adapt. Because in the end, it's not the strongest who survive. It's the ones who are willing to change. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories that can change the way you see your life.